at Merlo Field. Take a look at the starting 11 here for Portland, starting off with the Pilots and Abby Presnell. First career start for her. Let's go to that in a second. George Fox, their starting 11. The sophomore Emily Roby, the keeper's off to a great start this year.
As we mentioned in the open, 3 shutouts already for the Bruins, and she's been in net for most of them.
And Portland starting off in their black kits. We are underway. They'll play the entire game, of course, in their black kits. George Fox in their white tops and kind of navy blue shorts. Again, Abby Presnell getting her first career start, the keeper for the Pilots. It's a big moment for her. Of course, she's played in a couple games in her career and some important minutes at that, but what a great opportunity for her.
I think so, and I think it's always extremely important for any team to have a well-developed goalkeeper core. You can, of course, have your regular starter. Bree Norris has, done the work day in, day out to earn this spot and, continue to go up against Presnell and Sophia Hills and make sure that, this is a challenge every day for this position, but you have to play Presnell, you have to play Hills at moments just to make sure that if there is something, for Norris to happen, that these players are confident to go in and can come in and be impactful when they do.
Referee Farhad Dadko, assistants Ailsa Young and Chris Wilgus. George Fox coming into this game 3-0. Their wins coming over Multnomah, Corbin, and Bushnell. 3 regional matchups there, and they haven't allowed a goal yet. In fact, the Bruins have only allowed 8 shots this year through 3 matches.
It'll be interesting to see how George Fox approaches this game coming up against a Division I opponent, a little bit different than the 3 teams that they have faced so far. If they choose to kind of come into what is a low block or otherwise known as a bunker and pull a lot of players back in and around the top of the penalty area when Portland has it, or if they will try to play Portland straight up for a little while and see how they match up.
Still works it up to Aaliyah Doctor, who then goes forward to the freshman Jillian McBride. Working it back into the 18. Here goes McBride. Feeds it across. Loose for a moment, but cleared away into the feet of Lindsey Kong for George Fox.
That earlier build-up play is something that Portland's been working on. That nice through ball from Still through to Jillian McBride. That was exactly how Portland scored the other night against Seattle U. A nice little cutter that went against the grain. You can tell that they've been working on those. You've seen some of those build-ups where they are actually running across the back line, and then as the ball's played, then they're running forward. So they're really trying to find some of these opportunities to stretch the defensive part before taking it to goal.
And they got that goal in the 18th minute against Seattle on Thursday. And then from there, it was just a frantic final 72 minutes trying to hang on. Unfortunately, Seattle was able to pick up a goal in the 88th minute. The Pilots were outshot 11-0 in that second half. It wasn't the Pilots' best second half, which Michelle French would admit.
Yeah, and they almost like the players kind of all collectively flipped a switch and kind of forgot what the game plan is, forgot what they're doing. They weren't connecting passes, and Seattle U pounced on that opportunity and essentially put all 10 of their outfield players in their attacking half and then just camped out there and didn't let Portland into their end of the field at all.
A great result for Seattle at 1-1, especially how that started, but a bit disappointing for the Pilots.
That was one of those games where a draw definitely feels a little bit like a loss.
Right. It happens. And talking with Michelle French before this match, she said that Associate head coach Maite Zabala said, well, that's college soccer.
Yeah, we were joking. There's, just love coaching kids because these are still, players who are still developing. They're trying to find that level of consistency, and it's just one of those bizarre things that happens sometimes when everybody decides to shut off at the same time, and you're not really quite sure what happened.
The UP was so dominant in that first half against Seattle, outshot them 6-2, had 1 goal, but a lot of opportunities to score, and then Seattle totally flipped it in the second. So Portland trying to bounce back, wipe the slate clean here today. It's up to Brooke Miller near the halfway line. Playing it out wide on the right side. This is Kaya Zurich on the move. Peering towards the middle. A freshman from Gilbert, Arizona. Taylor Norman goes to Settle. Good handles there by Settle. Back out to Zurich. Looking for the cross. Plays it in. It's still loose. Miller knocked back. Miller saved away. Emily Roby with a nice save for the Bruins.
And that is a high-quality build-up from Portland, initiated by that young woman, Brooke Miller, who finds a terrific pass, and some interplay between Zurich and Norman leads to this opportunity, and what a save from Roby, who does just enough to get down wide and get down and push it wide.
Roby, the starter last year, save percentage at .649. It's a lot higher this year. Zurich lets it fly over the top, but a foul anyway against the Pilots on some big contact there deep in the box.
I think that was Haley Still just coming through there, leading with her shoulder and her head, leading to that foul.
So Roby and George Fox able to fend off Portland that time. Roby now with 9 saves on the young season. Hasn't allowed a goal yet. Couple shutouts. She was subbed out of a match. That's why she doesn't have all 3 technically. Here goes Aaliyah Doctor. Left-footed shot knocked away. Another corner, but well defended there by Willa Evans, the 5th-year senior.
And again, another nice bit of interplay, this time with their heads between, McBride, Miller, and Doctor. Do the right thing. They start playing with their head to win this ball. Look, right there, Jillian McBride, absolutely the right thing to knock it back the way you're facing. And then Miller, exceptional work to find Doctor. Doctor thought she had that cutting there, but knocked away.
Yekel will play in the corner. Bending towards frame, header, puts it in. Haley Still rises, fires, and scores. Athletic finish, and the 6th goal of the year for the senior.
And you give a ton of credit there to Bella Yekel, our player to watch, who, again, just puts this ball, watch her strike this ball, one of the best ball strikers on Portland's team, puts it up and over everybody, and look at how Haley Still is able to clock that all the way, splits both George Fox defenders, and just buries it. 6th goal of the season for her. What a tremendous set piece for Portland.
How about the vert there? She timed it, could do there. Still did not get the start on Thursday against Seattle. Came in off the bench, obviously still had an impact, but starting here today and in her first year after transferring over from Washington, leading the Pilots in goals this year.
And that's Yekel's 3rd assist on the season as well. That's just a terrific ball in here. You saw it just go perfectly over everybody, right to Still.
So Portland able to take advantage of their 2nd corner kick. Play forward all the way to Brooke Miller. She's got Evans on her. Out wide to Zurich. Eliana Wong. Nice move. The hesitation. Leah Doctor. Being checked closely by Isabella Hector, the sophomore. Drops it back to Wong. Some pressure there, but still able to handle it after Liv Haima came in from behind, the sophomore from Corvallis. Go out wide to Zurich, and a throw in for George Fox now. Bruins trying to work it up the pitch here, get it into the final third. The pass just a little bit off target, intended there for Becca Kozak. Kozak, a player to watch on this team. A couple goals on the year, the senior leading the team in that category. George Fox is led by head coach Laura Schott in her 5th year at the helm. Very familiar name in the Portland soccer community. Former Portland State head coach, club soccer head coach. She's been involved with the Portland Thorns.
Top youth player. She played at Jesuit High School and then went on to her college career. One of the rare players from FC Portland that did not come to the University of Portland out of high school, went to Cal and was an All-American at Cal, and then went on to play in the original Women's Professional League, the WUSA, when she graduated.
Looking for some push forward here from Doctor. Plays it up to Miller into the final third. Miller working right, back to Aaliyah Doctor. Downhill towards the end line, crosses in, Roby comes out, it's still free. Some contact there with Roby, the keeper, holding her side. And some obvious pain.
That's brave goalkeeping from Roby. We may get another look at it yet here. As this ball comes in, Doctor plays a terrific ball. Nice driven across. Roby just comes out and right into McBride, and I'm not sure. He's getting a little bit of the benefit of the doubt there in terms of what happened there. It looked like, I thought initially that McBride might have come through her with her knee, but McBride was a little bit farther behind there than that.
Coming up on 10 minutes into this one, let's see if George Fox can respond. This Bruins program, they have a 4-year stretch under head coach Laura Schott that they have a record above 500, and that is noteworthy because that's the first time in more than 20 years George Fox has had such a stretch. Here's McBride going left, still at her feet, crosses to the middle. Can she get a shot on? Yes, Settle puts it in. Ruby Settle, injured last year, missed the season. Great to see her back with her 3rd career goal.
And this is the classic case of the things I talked about sometimes about being an optimist. You have to think when you are Ruby Settle that Jillian McBride is going to get this ball to you. And there are several instances where it does not look like that can be the case, but full credit to Jillian McBride for getting that cross off. It looks like she was wrong-footed, and she is probably going to get tripped up, maybe beat, maybe got by the goalkeeper. Great team goal from the Pilots.
I was just going to say, Portland playing as a team here. That first goal off the corner, a beautiful delivery by Yekel. This goal, an incredible play by McBride just to keep it on balance and keep it in the field of play. And she gets the assist there. A couple team goals for Portland. Already up to 11 minutes in. Still trying to get the ball forward and cleared over the sideline there by Kaylee Gugliotta. What a freshman season for McBride. First career assist. Doesn't have any goals yet. It feels like she's been so close.
She created a key opportunity against Nebraska, right?
Yeah,
When she came in, affectionately nicknamed her the chaos agent for Portland up top, where she, similar play. She absolutely gutted out, getting through, running through this play, and earns a penalty that allows Kaylee Togiai to convert, and Portland, takes home that win, a great win against Nebraska. And the thing about that is again, you just watch the work that she does, and I again have to commend Ruby Settle for staying with that play and trusting that Jillian McBride would get her the ball, because you have to believe that, and you have to give that kind of faith and trust to your teammates, because otherwise, what's the incentive for them to do that if they don't think you're going to be there for them?
Well, you mentioned Kaylee Togiai. She will not play today, so we won't see her. Probably won't see Bree Norris either. Here's a ball forward to Brooke Miller. Now she's got a chance. Going left, open net, sends it in. Brooke Miller. 2nd goal of the year, and Portland hammering the net. 3 goals already.
And again, another, just what I was talking about a few minutes ago, of players just running at an angle through a line. So often we've seen the ball. Look at this great ball up from Eliana Wong. Ruby Settle just times it. Well, look at that, with just a great one-touch play. And Brooke Miller started near us and ran in front of that defender and then back the other way. And that's what Portland has been missing, and this is a great opportunity for them to look for those combinations of how they can work on and build on some of these things that they've been doing in bits and pieces, but do it more consistently. And that's what you have to do as a forward. You have to take your defender one way and then come back the other way forward. If you just run in straight lines, you're way too easy to mark.
It seems like those are the type of details you talk about where a game like this can still be very useful. They can watch the film back. They can see the specific examples of these angles and see it working.
And they do watch film. They do have it. We're up helping troubleshoot. Yeah. troubleshoot Portland's film system before this game started. So it is a valuable tool for them and the players to be able to watch some of these things and see, what went right and some of the areas where things probably could have gone a little bit better and how they can tighten the screws to make that happen.
The Pilots have another non-conference match coming up on Saturday against Cal Baptist. For the conference play starts September 28th, a Saturday matchup at St. Mary's. Be a tough West Coast Conference this year. Pepperdine and Santa Clara early on, playing really well in non-conference play. Of course, Washington State joining the WCC this year. So even with a few disappointing results in non-conference, there's all the goals and opportunities still in front of this Portland team. Well defended there. Macy Bowman stepping in front. Actually, that was Alexis Breer, the junior. George Fox working it forward to Kong. Now they go down to Hector. Taylor Ho lost the handle. Settle trying to go forward. Flag is down. Now it's up. One too many there. They might have got away with one on the first one to McBride there. She tried for another pass up to Miller.
A little more. You can see Chris Wilgus over there, or AR2. It's like, yeah, nope, you were a little bit off. Let's get another look at it. Ruby Settle passes the ball through there. You see Brooke Miller had just taken off a step too early, and McBride had also just been about a half a body length in front of her player.
Evans plays forward the free kick. It's headed back. Zerk down to Haley Still. Lost her footing. Norman trying to work it forward, but it's taken away by Liv Heima. Looking for a quick counter now. It's Katana Norman playing center back there for the Pilots. Starting every match here this season.
If you're going to play a 3-back, be hard pressed to find another better player to play your center back in a 3-back than Katana Norman. She can cover so much distance so capably.
Portland starting in that 3-5-2 here today. Out the right side, here's Zurich. Crosses it back into McBride. One extra touch, rips the shot, knocked down by Roby, who's got the save.
And Chris, you and I really went back and forth before the game on who we were going to pick as our player to watch for George Fox, whether it was going to be Emily Roby or who we ended up picking, Willa Evans. And I think, you know, either player really could have been. We knew that this was going to be a big match for Roby. She'd see a lot of different opportunities and a lot of different shooting scenarios or build-up scenarios. And I think she's done a wonderful job so far. Just about 15 minutes into the match.
Yeah, she's only a sophomore at Huntington Beach, California. Got the starting job as a freshman last year. And how about this experience for her, getting to play at Merlo Field, getting to play against this talent level against the Pilots. Talk about game film and game experience to get better. Her and all these George Fox players with a great opportunity here today. Look at the speed of Zurich crossing in. Bruins looking to cross it, or looking to clear it away, I should say. Sizienko drops it back to Wong.
I think what Kaya Zurich needs to do next time she's in that situation is just get her head up a little sooner. She had her head down going in, just trying to work it the whole way, and ends up putting it behind Brooke Miller and out of reach for some Portland players. So she's getting to where she needs to be, and she's crossing the ball, but she's got to be a bit more pinpoint, a bit more purposeful with that cross.
The Pilots dominating possession, dominating shots in this one. 7-0 advantage over George Fox. In the first ever matchup between these two programs, geographically, obviously very close to one another, about 40 minutes between these two campuses. Sometimes longer if there's traffic, about 30 miles.
Yeah, it depends on how quickly you can get out of Highway 26.
Right. Laura Schott is excited about this opportunity for her program. She said, you know, playing at Merlo Field is not something everybody gets to do. There's a lot of Division III players that never get this opportunity, so they are not taking it lightly. They are really excited about the chance to play on this beautiful pitch, regardless of result. Trying to use something to build on moving forward. Doctor into the final third. To Still. Settle goes back to Yakel. She wants to shoot, and it's wide.
Yakel just looking at all of what she has in front of her, the options, and she's got the foot to do it. She's got the strength, she's got the accuracy, and says, I don't know if I can play through here. I don't know if I can find somebody in these lanes, and has a notion to have a go, and not too far off the mark there.
Well, she's only taken 3 shots this year, so why not? Hector able to play this one away. Roby was kind of hoping that she was just going to let that ball go to her, but instead Portland will have a deep throw in here. Leah Doctor goes down to McBride. Back to her. Yakel going all the way out wide to Taylor Norman. Good to see Norman out there. She has played the last 2 games. Back on the pitch in the starting role today. Nice move. Crossed in. It's a pretty good one. Doctor with a header. It's still free. McBride just not able to finish it off. Settle's got a chance here. Knocked back. Ball is still free. Settle. Nice move. Ruby Settle. Oh! You would love to see her finish a play like that. Leaving defenders in the dust.
That was terrific from Ruby Settle. A few okey dokes there. And terrific defending from George Fox. He's got by the first couple, but the last player could not clear her.
Still stepping in. Goes up to Miller, too much on it. Roby's able to collect it.
And as we look at Brooke Miller, just gets this ball across. Aaliyah Doctor is going to get on the end of it and does a nice job to keep it in play. McBride tries to get through there. And then here's where, missed the end of it, but that's okay. We're back in action.
Yeah, there was a lot of action during that little sequence there. Settle put on a series of moves. Getting the sense here, as long as she's on the pitch, she's going to have her chances here.
Well, and it's an interesting lineup. We were looking at this lineup before the game started, and it was, we've got Bella Yakel and we've got Haley Still playing holding, and that's more withdrawn than we've seen Haley Still play. She's usually playing where Ruby Settle is, and I really like it because she's very good defensively. She reads the game very well, and that gives Ruby Settle an opportunity to be in the role she is right now, which is to be a playmaker for her team, but then also follow up on some of these opportunities that we've seen where she has these good handles that can, run through the midfield and cause some danger from the midfield. And Haley Still now pivoting back and forth from that defensive role, and now as they transition to offense, she'll be in a more advanced position.
Here's Miller. Takes it up to Settle. Another chance for Settle. Extra pass. McBride knocked back. Nice play there by Alexis Breer. Hustling back into position. Now Zurich on the move. Crosses in to Miller. Shot, fires it in. Miller again. It's a first half brace for Brooke Miller.
And this is tremendous from Portland. Tremendous patience and tremendous execution from each player involved in this sequence, but especially Brooke Miller, because when you get in these situations, as we watch Kaya Zurich take this ball through, Brooke Miller right here, she has limited touches. She knows that. She knows where she's at in the penalty area. She knows that the more she does, the more her opportunities are going to close. And right there, she takes her second touch and smashes it in the back of the net. Very hard to defend against.
The best shot possible. She does just that. Miller coming in with 3 career goals. The junior with 2 of them today. Well, we've talked about her a lot this year in terms of it feels like she should have more than 3 career goals just with how close she's been throughout 3 years.
And the thing I like about Brooke Miller and Jillian McBride paired with each other up top right now is that they both have exceptional work rates. Like if you are a young player watching, what does it take to achieve at this level? It achieves that level of work and consistency for 90 minutes every time you're out on the pitch. And that's why we always feel like Brooke Miller should probably have more goals than she does, because she works so hard and does so many things playing so well, it just seems inconceivable that she doesn't have more goals for herself right now.
Her and McBride really embody that. They are tireless players, and Michelle French said that they're hoping Miller can have a breakout season. Already 3 goals this year, not even to the halfway point of 2024. Zurich. Back to Yeakel, all the way down to Eliana Wong. Now to Aaliyah Doctor. Trying to keep it in, Zurich, good effort. Tough ball to control there, and a well-struck pass to the sideline. A throw in for Breer and George Fox. No sign of any subs yet for either team. Just over the halfway point here in this first half. We were interested to see how Michelle French was going to handle this type of game as George Fox is looking to build. Here's Taylor Ho, one of their more dynamic playmakers, trying to thread it back in, but Eliana Wong sniffed it out well. And they go back to Kong. All the way down, this is Isabella Hector. Trying to cross it in, deflect it away. Maybe the best opportunity so far, though, here for George Fox.
Some good ideas and build up from them. Just a little more on the execution so they don't turn the ball over in some of those tight areas, but that was really good play coming up through this right side for the Bruins.
Nice move by McBride. Breaking free on the far side. Long strides of McBride. That'll draw a whistle. There's a tackle effort there by Macy Bowman, and that earns a booking.
It looks to be on the edge of the penalty area. It's not going to be a penalty, but McBride was just starting to break away when Bowman and get around her. So we see Bowman now tracking through here on the sideline. McBride cutting in and just sweeps through. Misses the ball and sweeps through McBride there.
So like you said, just outside the box. Really dangerous spot though for a PK or for a free kick here. Yeakel will take it. Already the assist on a corner kick earlier. Here's a shot. Oh, what a finish! Taylor Norman. First career goal for the freshman. Had a ton of space to operate, and a laser finds the net.
And an absolutely perfectly executed set piece. As close to perfect as it gets, with Portland dragging a lot of players into the penalty area to free up that lane. Yeakel cuts it perfectly, and how about that for your first career goal? That's definitely going on the season highlight reel. Just an absolute banger for Norman to open her Portland scoring account.
Wow. Those are those opportunities you dream of. Get that pass just at the top of the box. You've got some space to let it fly. You just got to get it by the keeper, and she did just that. Beautiful. All those hours of work and drills she did paid off there. And again, she didn't play the last 2 matches for Portland, so great confidence boost for the freshman to come in and get a goal today. 5 first half goals for the Pilots. Zurich sticking with it. Now looking to cross in. Back to Settle. Season high for Portland, 7 goals against Stonehill College earlier this season. Already at 5 here. A lot of time to go in this match. Kayla Adams subbed in for Portland. Nina Rowe did as well. Rowe gets a touch there, battling. Lizzie Merkel and Allison Weber both came in match for George Fox as well, just after that goal from Taylor Norman. Some pressure there from Bowman, and it paid off for a moment, and it did. A foul against Portland.
These are always the hard spots you get in when you're playing. There's 20 minutes left in the half. You're up 5-0, and Ruby Settle looking for more perfection instead of playing two-touch, playing clean and simple. And there you see her just grab the jersey, and Haley Still come through there. Almost a double foul, if you will, on the Pilots.
Portland will have Bella Ballard sub into the match. Next opportunity. Tess Scott will come in for George Fox. Pass from Ho down to the right side, trying to go to Merkel, who just checked in and earns a throw in for George Fox. And here comes Ballard. She replaces Eliana Wong. For George Fox, Merkel coming in for Macy Bowman.
I think it was Tess Scott who subbed in.
What did I say?
I think you said Merkel.
Excuse me, Tess Scott. Scott checking in, of course. Scott, the freshman, part of a George Fox roster with 9 freshmen. Jillian McBride trying to track this one down. Well played. It was Alexis Breer who's able to clear it away. Zurich dropping it all the way back here. This is Shay Adams, who checked into the match for the Pilots as well. Settle trying to build up. Nothing there. It's cleared away. A strong clearance at that, but it's headed back by Haley Still, who's playing center back right now for Portland.
Portland's dropped into a 4-back. They'd started the game into a 3-back and has now dropped into a 4-back with Adams and Still partnering in the center back position together. And again, Haley Still is a very good defender, very good distributor of the ball. So somebody that can really dictate and step up the tempo when the game needs it and slow it down. She definitely has that feel for the rhythm and the pace of the game when you watch her.
What do you make of that? Do you think the coaching staff is trying it out to see if that's an option later, or is it just kind of how this match is going?
It's how this match is going.
Mm-hmm. Still's played all over the field.
Chris, I've had my fair share of 4As as a field player when I was a goalkeeper for Portland.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can play anywhere.
That's fair. Still, of course, with a goal today as well. Now
it's all about your starting position. She is can attack and defend from anywhere on the field, and right now her starting position just happens to be deeper on the field.
Right.
Yeah.
Trying to play the ball forward, and it's taken away there. That's Kaylee Gugliotta. George Fox still shotless. It's 13-0 right now. It's a Bruins team that had shutouts their first 3 matches this year. This ball forward to go to Kayla Adams. Flag is down. Adams with some space. How much did you love those opportunities to play in the field?
They scared the daylights out of me. I just
So
was
you
trying not to make a mistake. Oh, it was fun. I scored. I got a couple of assists, but they absolutely just made me so anxious. And all Clive Charles told me to do was to essentially go be Jillian McBride. Just go create some chaos up there.
Right.
That's all we need you to do. I wish I had Jillian McBride as my role model back then. Then I would have a better idea of what I was supposed to do.
Oh, you found your role pretty well in the net. Obviously had some loaded teams back then, so maybe they could have used you more often if they had some shortcomings, but some talent at every position. Did need you there. Just cross in. Here's an opportunity. Bella Ballard with a shot. Knocked away by Roby. It's still free. Adams. Composed in possession. She plays it back to Settle. Lofts it back in. Nice ball. Headed by McBride. Gugliotta looking for the clearance. And Lizzie Merkel able to get possession and draw a whistle.
And Merkel does a nice job there, shielding the ball off and creating that contact and that foul for her team to try to do something with now. Really nice job coming back and getting involved from her forward, playing in a more forward position, and does a nice job helping her teammate out there.
Got a big ovation from her bench. George Fox still very much into this match on their bench and enjoying this opportunity here playing at Merlo Fields. The Bruins are in the midst of a 4-game road stretch. They'll be back in action Saturday at Whitworth, a conference match for George Fox on Saturday. They're playing in Spokane. The way the Northwest Conference does it at the Division III level, they play their games back to back. If they've got a shot opportunity here, Personnel doesn't have to really do much. That was Allison Weber who took the shot a little bit wide. So the Northwest Conference goes Saturday, Sunday with their games. So George Fox starting conference play on the road in Spokane and Walla Walla, at Whitworth, and then Whitman, who are two of the best teams in the conference. So George Fox hoping they can use this and sharpen up and be ready for conference play.
And the Northwest Conference is always just a tremendously competitive conference, as we see Taylor Ho come off there and get some hugs and advice from head coach Laura Schott. But I mean, Whitman and Whitworth always perennially finish near the top of the conference. This year picked to finish 4th, 5th. Pacific Lutheran and Puget Sound, two of the toughest teams out there.
Yeah, Pacific Lutheran is in a dominant stretch. 7 straight conference titles for them, including 4 NCAA tournaments in a row. Puget Sound had a pretty unbelievable 13 consecutive conference championship streak. So those are the type of programs George Fox is chasing. And off to one of their best starts in school history this year, 3-0. They'll come out of this one 3-1, but when you look at the details, people will see, oh, they were playing the University of Portland, so not a bad loss for their record at all.
I'm just fact-checking something quickly before I say something.
That's always good. McBride trying to work past Hector. Draws the whistle. Great effort again. The chaos agent, Jillian McBride. And it's a card. That's on Tess Scott for George Fox.
McBride with a nice little turn there, just does everything she can to get through there and does a nice job. But Isabella Hector comes through right next to Tess Scott and just kind of sandwich her, for lack of a better descriptor. Hard to battle through that.
With less than 10 to go in this first half. Here's Kaya Zurich down to Settle. Lofts it in. McBride header poked away by Roby. Flags up. It's an offside on the Pilots. Chris Wilgus, the assistant referee. And it is an absolutely gorgeous night here in Portland. 67 degrees right now. Orange, pinks, and purples on the horizon as the sun is set Look at that. Doesn't get any better than this. And that's our view from the booth here.
Yeah,
we're blessed.
Camera's right on top of us right now, and it is idyllic, picturesque, scenic, about as perfect a Monday night as you can get in the city of Portland.
Trinity Carrington subbing in for George Fox. She replaces Becca Kozak. Haley Bagby coming in for Portland. She comes in for McBride. Settle playing it out wide. Miller goes back to Settle. Ballard wants a shot. Knocked down. Adams looking to track it down. A nice clearance there from Izzy Camphouse, the freshman.
Okay, so I had to fact check. I just had to double check to make sure that I had the right school. But Puget Sound, who is in the Northwest Conference, who was picked to finish second this year, is where former Portland standout Stephanie Lopez-Cox, who's former national team player, professional player for several years with the Seattle Reign, is now the head coach and has that team firing on all cylinders and getting up there and being competitive with Pacific Lutheran. It's great to see.
I love that. It's always nice to see all the accomplishments of these old UP greats, what they've been able to do. And they
Portland Hall of Famer. Oh man, I can't believe I forgot that.
Yes, and when they stay in soccer, they continue to bestow that knowledge onto kids, onto listeners. If they're, in your case, you know, as a coach and a broadcaster yourself, the University of Portland soccer community staying in the game and making an impact. Here's Nina Rode to Zurich. Too much on it. See if Ballard can track it down. Little hesitation move, Ballard. All the way down to Bagby. Bagby having a big time sophomore season. 3 goals and a couple of assists for the Pilots. Just subbed in about 3 minutes ago. And Portland doesn't play again until Saturday, so they don't have to rest everyone. They'll have some time to kind of rest before that match. Rhodes' shot is controlled by Roby.
And right now, Haley still holding it down at center back with Shea Adams. One of 2 players right now of the original starting lineup out on the field, other than Haley Still and Abby Presneller.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. 10 substitutions already for the Pilots. Everybody that's active and healthy probably going to get an opportunity the way this match is going right now. Rode. Ooh, nice move. Out to Adams. Plays it back to Bagby. That's Tavy Kahn. Also in the match for the Pilots. Freshman from Seattle. Bagby letting it fly. And the flag is up. Settle just a touch offside. She was eager to get one of those long balls over the top.
Yeah, and this is where I talk about just being a little bit more purposeful and moving across the line. When you get held up trying to run straight to the end line, this is what tends to happen, is that you just get a bit impatient. All she had to do was maybe just take a few more steps to the sideline, continue to drag her defender out, and then when that pass came in, she could have made her run in front of her, behind her.
There's a whistle and a foul against Portland. Bit of a hold and free kick for George Fox.
I think we're going to see Willa Evans on this for George Fox. It's a pretty good distance. It's going to be a good opportunity for George Fox to get some players up, get some numbers in. Under 5 minutes left to go in this game, so not a bad opportunity to put some numbers forward and see if they can make something out of this set piece.
The Fifth-year senior Willa Evans in her 69th career match today with 68 starts. Lofts in a pretty good ball, but too much on it, over the top and over the inline.
It's a terrific ball, just not a lot of her teammates on the same page of where she was going to put that. Just drops it right in about 10 yards off the end line and would have been perfect for somebody running around the corner to get in on.
The last time out for George Fox against Bushnell, they outshot them 12-2. Obviously a different opponent. And George Fox, kind of their specialty has been just not allowing any time at all for opponents in the final third. They've only, the first 3 matches, allowed 3 total shots before this one, where Portland has 15 shots today. There's a foul against the Bruins.
And that's the savviness of Haley Still. Right there asking for a card, probably had a jersey full of the tug, jersey tug, but just doing everything she can to make sure that she's staying on the ball, staying in front of Coral Sheffer, and draws the foul just through her kind of smart play, understanding where she was and what would happen if she continued to potentially lose possession of that ball.
Looking for that through ball forward to Nina Road. Bagby stepping in front. Less than 3 to go in this first half. And there goes Adams. Nice ball to Adams. To her right foot, lets it fly. Roby had it come right at her, and she's able to save it.
And Adams, this is just about as good as it gets from Ruby Settle. What a great ball through, perfectly layered, textured, whatever your chosen verb is for how well she weighted that pass. And that's about the best Kayla Adams can do there, and cut it back and have a shot there. She wasn't going to get a lot running through, trying to create a 1v1 there.
Portland had 20 shots in a match earlier this year. Already on the brink of surpassing that with 16 so far here in this one. Bagby fighting through the contact out wide to Adams. Trying to go out to Zurich.
And I like that ball from Bagby across. She's kind of telling, it's well behind Zurich, but it's telling Zurich, we can't keep getting in there because we're putting, it sounds weird, we're putting too many numbers forward, which is pulling too many George Fox defenders back and clogging things up. Playing it behind her tells Zurich, hey, you got to get yourself back out. Let's try to pull some of your defenders out and then see if we can create that space in behind for you to run onto when we do.
She was a little far to yell, so she thought, I'll send a message by my pass here.
Yeah, exactly.
Minutes to go in this first half. Pilots got going early. Haven't looked back with 5 goals. 2 from Brooke Miller, 1 from Haley Still, Ruby Settle, and Taylor Norman, the other 2 goals for UP. Yakel, Settle, and McBride with the assist. And here's Bagby. Closing seconds, 15 to go in this first half.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Still with a nice play as the center back.
3.
Seconds tick off the clock, and it's halftime on the Bluff. Portland, the heavy favorite on paper, and they're taking care of business.
And they rightly should be, right? If you're gonna, come out and take this game, you have to make sure that you are. They have a special camera that tracks all this stuff for them. Both the men's and the women's team do, and so they look deeply at this stuff to see.
Quick shot knocked away. Adams actually was in the lane of that shot, and it inadvertently deflected that one back.
So along with the video, it's one of those things that they study. They use this data to come in and say, okay, here's how we can kind of expand our shape. It helps them look at kind of what our defined shape was. You know, as a coach, you look at that and see what your defined shape was. And we just see that initial first shot, well blocked by Bowman there. And Ruby Settle just comes and just trips herself up, coming trying to do something else with it.
What are your feelings on analytics?
It's interesting because I've seen it a little bit and I've used it. Obviously, when I was an assistant coach here, we used it for a little bit. It was just kind of starting to come in and be common. We have, you know, all the GPS trackers, and sometimes for me, it's too much information. I think it's useful as a coaching staff, but sometimes I think the numbers and all of the information can tend to overwhelm players. So you have to have a really thoughtful way to use it with your players to make sure that it's not. Sometimes the game is a lot about the feeling and how you play and what you put into it. And if you're hammering, you know, your passing statistics, you only completed 5 of your 10 attempts, you know, you start to overthink a lot of things and you lose the feel for the game that a lot of great players have. I don't think Lionel Messi or, you know, Lindsey Horan are thinking instinctually about their passing statistics when they're on the field.
Right. It's a nice tool for coaches to be able to use, and might as well invest in that technology if you've got the chance. Even if it's just a minute, slight change, you never know what can put you over the top. Especially in a sport like football, soccer, where one bounce can change your entire season. And here's George Fox trying to build the other way off a turnover. This is Taylor Ho. She leads the team in minutes. They like to keep her on the pitch. Big part of this team's success. Now it's Liv Haima. She's got Kong to her right, trying to play it to her, but the speed of Zurich sneaking in to get possession back.
Good read by Zurich, and Ho really did a nice job there for the Bruins, starting the attack, getting up. Didn't have enough players with her that led to some of those initial disruptions, and then, you know, their teammates ended up picking up right after her, but Kai Zurich, really good read from her to come through and step and win that.
Taylor Ho's had a great career for George Fox in her 4th season, 11 goals and 7 assists in her career. Former second-team all-conference selection, putting up big numbers and already a couple of assists this year. Bagby going to Adams. Now Shea Adams goes into the middle to Taylor Norman. Settle trying to thread it forward for Nina Rode, and the flag is up. It's an offside on the Pilots.
George Fox doing a good job so far in the opening minutes. We're almost 10 minutes into this half and have organized themselves in a way that they're just pulling themselves up a bit more organized. They're not allowing some of those opportunities for those runs through. When they do, we're seeing some of those chances right there where Portland's offside.
It's a George Fox team that allowed 32 goals last year. That was 7th in the Northwest Conference. They had 4 shutouts for the entire season. Already 3 this year. So obviously this result today not going the way they want, but that's not what they were aiming for. They're hoping to be able to compete in the Northwest Conference, and if their strong goalkeeping from Emily Roby continues and that back line continues to hold people down, they should be a tough out in the Northwest this year. Shea Adams. He's back over to Taylor Norman. Now Settle going out wide to Zurich. Kayla Adams returns it to her. Trying to thread it in there to Rose, but or to a Rode, I should say, but it's knocked away.
And Rode, you can see some of that striker kind of leaping out of her. She's trying to stay central to put herself in these positions, but when you're playing maybe a central midfield role, you've got to be a little bit more side to side in terms of checking, trying to get that ball and pull those defenders out of position.
Going forward to McBride. Taken away, well defended there. That's Breer again. Breer's made some really nice plays in the back line, the junior. Portland, though, A lot of what we saw in the first half, even when George Fox does get these clearances and they knock it away for a moment, Portland pretty quickly getting possession back, applying a lot of pressure.
And what Portland can't fall into the trap of is just thinking they have too much time on the ball. The more time you spend on the ball and you're dribbling, taking touches, the more time the other team has to mobilize. So Portland playing 1 and 2 touch here is keeping George Fox really unbalanced and really opening up some opportunities in some different areas as Portland brings the ball up the pitch.
All the way down to Bagby.
As George Fox settles more or less into kind of a low block, they've got 4, sometimes 5 in the back and then 4 in front. It's going to be hard for Portland to continue to find some of these opportunities through the middle. So when they do, you can see them going out wide. So they're looking for some of these through balls, but when they do come through the middle, it's got to be short and quick in terms of disrupting just the spacing and the distance of George Fox's shape.
Portland trying to find some of that short, crisp passing in the middle. Still without a shot in the second half. Coming up on the 10-minute mark. Road goes over to Tavy Kahn. Freshman from Shorecrest High School. Was an all-state selection there. Played her club ball with Seattle United for 9 years. And there's Emily Roby able to come up with that ball. Trying to get it forward there to Bella Ballard on the attack. Bagby going outside to Settle, trying to work it through traffic. Look at the moves by Settle. Contact the box, well defended by Breer. Defenders converging, a deep throw in for the Pilots.
And I think this is a really important game and really important minutes for Ruby Settle, just working herself back in. And you see her here developing even more confidence. We saw some of this in the first half, just some nice little slip techniques, foot on the ball, in and out, and then does a nice job shielding here until she has help available. And I think this is one of those games that's going to be hugely impactful for Ruby Settle's season in terms of getting her a lot of minutes and a lot of quality touches on the ball to build her confidence for her appearances later in the season.
Yeah, I remember a couple years ago, 2022 as a freshman, you could just see her oozing with potential with a couple goals and an assist in her freshman season, including a goal in the NCAA tournament against Arizona State here at Merlo Field. Missed the season last year due to injury, and now we're starting to see her get more and more comfortable battling back from the injury.
And we've seen the same thing from Shea Adams, who was also out last year from injury. It's really important that you manage the minutes and manage the opportunities that as you bring players back from injury and bring them back into the fold of giving them opportunities to, you know, make sure that they aren't going to re-injure themselves, but they build that confidence in game by game and really provide them that opportunity to continue to push for more minutes and, you know, be somebody that is relied upon, that can be inserted into the starting lineup, or, you know, somebody that's going to be first off the bench.
Couple subs coming in for George Fox. They bring in Trinity Carrington and Alyssa Campbell. It's Taylor Ho and Emily Adams to the bench.
And it'll be interesting if we see those two tonight again. Taylor Ho, knowing she plays so much for this team and is so important. If, you know, head coach Laura Schott is looking at the weekend in a tough, you know, back-to-back Saturday-Sunday schedule.
Nice ball in. McBride able to track it down. McBride fires. Oh, off the crossbar. Now it's Ballard with a chance. Off the crossbar again. McBride put her hands on her head after that miss by Ballard, thinking, are you kidding me? We both banged it off the crossbar.
Well, McBride has to wonder what it's going to take for her to get her first career goal as a Pilot. Really good touch there. Oh, my goodness. That quality, that skill to bring it down, and then just lays it on a platter for Ballard, who I thought I was right behind her. My view in the press box, I thought that was in.
So strong shots, well struck, plenty of velocity, just a little too high. Yeah, I mean, as much as McBride has been around the net today and this entire season, she's still searching for that first career goal. She deserves it the way she plays.
She's created so much in a lot of the goals that Portland, I mean, again, we go back to the Nebraska goal. We look at a couple of the goals tonight have been created from her play or even from directly from her passes in Ruby Settle's case, Ruby Settle's goal tonight.
And there is Settle going down the middle. Deflected back and sent away by George Fox. This is Kozak. Carrington looking to go down to Campbell, just not able to stretch out and keep it in play.
Nearly had it. They had a good break going forward there and nearly had that chance.
Road, quick feed to McBride. Is this her chance? Is this where she finds the net? No! Sent back by Roby.
Roby, another tremendous stop. Look at how she closes this angle. She's not back on her goal line. She reads as McBride's coming around, and she comes out and she cuts that angle. She's a solid 5 yards off her line at that point. Just makes the goal that much smaller for McBride, and McBride is just frustrated, which is the absolute thing you want to see when you're Emily Roby, is how much you're frustrating the forward on the other team, because that's what's going to help them, you know, potentially keep missing. They're going to think about that the next time and the next time. So Emily Roby doing a great job tonight.
She's been challenged with a ton of shots. 19 shots for Portland, 11 on goal. Roby with 6 saves. And a few of the goals Portland had put in have just been unsavable perfect shots. Not Roby's fault at all. George Fox trying to build up to the far side to Lindsey Kong. Signed with George Fox University out of Hawaii. Her brother Connor is on the men's team. So logical destination for her to join her brother at George Fox.
It's always nice to keep it in the family. Makes it easy for your family to come visit you and not have to split attention across different campuses.
I wonder if they had a say in that, where she played. Made it a lot easier for them, I'm sure. Primarily players from the Pacific Northwest for George Fox, but they've got players from Colorado, from Kansas, from Hawaii, of course. I'm sure some of those are tuning in here for this big opportunity for this Bruins roster to play here at Merlo Field, one of the iconic venues in all of soccer.
A lot of history have happened at this field, not just for Portland, but I mean, you know, national teams have. You know, the U.S. women's national team has played here. This has been a training site for the men's national team for several. Bayern Munich has trained here. I mean, it's just been it's a tremendous pitch and a great thing to have in the heart of North Portland.
And Michelle French bringing back that dominance, the consistent winning here on this pitch. Under Michelle French, they are 35-15-6 on this pitch. And even better the last few years. Nina Rode lofts it in. Here's Bagby. Goes out wide, back to Rode, back to Bagby. All the way across to Zurich. Well defended there. And a collision. That'll draw a whistle and a foul against Portland.
And Taylor Norman, I think, getting caught on the end of that.
It was Liv Heima.
Liv Heima, yeah. As we see the ball come in here, Taylor Norman comes in and just misses the ball and ends up just full-on colliding with Heima. Full credit to Heima for getting up and running through that, or continuing to run through that. And yeah, Taylor Norman definitely misjudged the speed and where that ball was coming through and ends up with the foul.
Evans sends in a free kick that's headed back. Nearly to the feet of Kong. Possession back for UP, only for a moment. There's a throw in for the Bruins. Isabella Hector trying to throw it in towards Campbell there, but it goes through and over the inline. Sophia Hills making her debut. Hasn't had really any action yet. Michelle French excited about her future, said she's an incredible athlete. You can see her frame. She's listed at 5'9", but she's got good length, and obviously that can be very helpful to be physically imposing in the net.
Absolutely, and really, you know, her job here is to stay connected with her back line, not, you know, get too much space in between them, continue to be an outlet for Shea Adams and Taylor Norman, and help dictate the organization with Adams and Norman.
McBride advancing that all the way into the 18 and then tried to drop it off to Rode, who wasn't on the same page. A little bit out of position for that pass. Bagbu the throw in to settle. Trying to go through to Bagby. Knocked back, well defended there by Kozak. Settle with it again.
Portland right now falling a little bit into George Fox's game plan. You see when the ball kind of comes up the field, George Fox doing a really nice job of getting very compact and compressing, drawing all of Portland players in. They've got to expand the field a little bit more like they're doing now, and then look to play through when they want to play the middle. They've got to play a bit quicker, one touch, just to try to find those opportunities to spring Adams and spring Ballard, spring Rode and spring McBride through the back line.
Settle dictating play again, going out wide. Slight stumble there, and Norman goes all the way back to Shea Adams.
I'm wondering, as the night gets a little chillier, there's a little bit more water on the field, or, you know, dew, things like that. If Taylor Norman needs to potentially check her cleats, if she's wearing some shorter cleats, needs to wear some longer ones.
She's also played heavy minutes in this one, and now she is shaken up.
Yeah, not sure when or where it happened. It may have been on that initial foul we saw a few minutes ago with Liv Heima, but is definitely moving a bit slower and has been. Can't tell if it's her knee. I think it's her. But Miho Orai, athletic trainer for Portland, will arrive shortly on the screen.
There she is.
There she is. Have a look, and it looks potentially like hamstring, potentially. You see her coming up a little bit. This is the stumble that Chris was potentially talking about right there. You see her she can't strike the ball very well. It's just not, and this has been happening. I've been watching her for a couple of minutes now, and this has been happening for a few minutes with her. And Miho just checking some things out right there. And as we look at Portland right now, getting some advice, and I think, again, what Michelle French is talking about is, you know, what can't happen was the other night against Seattle U, where everybody effectively collectively shuts off and they start missing passes and missing tackles and things like that. But what they do have to do is continue to play smart. They're doing a nice job in possession, holding the ball right now, but they're not really super incisive with their passes. It's kind of in the direction. Sometimes when they get into that attacking third, it's okay, the ball's going to go where their players, there probably should be some players, but there aren't, right? So they're not necessarily getting their head up and looking for those opportunities. So we'll get a look at the collision with Liv Heima. She comes in right there, and you see her just stumble, just get a couple things caught up, and it's going to be her right leg that's getting looked at right now. And you see her coming off there, just a little limp as she comes through there, trying to get herself back there. So hard to see what kind of knock she took there, if it's a twist, if it's a muscle, if it's a knee thing right now. But I think Portland will probably end up subbing somebody on for her right now.
That's a great job by producer director Ray Bradley pulling that play up where we see the grimace. It did look like that was kind of the genesis of this discomfort in her right leg.
Looking to see who it's going to be, and I think it's going to be, we're going to see Keely Doctor for the first time tonight to play center back.
She's trying to work it off. First career goal for Taylor Norman under her belt today. Keely Doctor was probably thinking she wasn't going to play. She's going to have to get warm and get ready to go.
She got warm pretty quick. She definitely got warm pretty quick, and so Norman's going to come off the field. Doctor will go into that center back role next to Adams. Continue to have Bagby to her right, and then to Shea Adams' left will continue to be Kaya Zurich. This Ballard just coming off there, she looks okay, but there's just something uncomfortable happening in her right leg right now that they'll go and try and figure out.
So Portland has now sent 20 players out there to play in total. And of course, remember there's a couple that are redshirting on this Portland roster. Don't want to exhaust that by playing them today. There's a few that are banged up. So just about everybody getting their opportunity to play here. Bagby going forward to McBride.
And again, George Fox doing a great job in their defensive discipline with their shape, how they're holding things through the midfield in Portland. This is why it's important for these players to get this kind of opportunity, because they have to learn how to solve these problems, because they're going to come up against this in other games throughout the rest of the season, where a team is going to play a low block on them. Maybe they're going to go up, maybe they're playing against Santa Clara in a tight game and Santa Clara goes into a low block to hold the leads. Portland's got to figure out how to solve that problem and create and generate offense through these types of defensive setups.
The West Coast Conference is tough as ever. Santa Clara sitting at number 11 in the country right now. Pepperdine is 18th. A terrific non-conference performance this year from Pepperdine. Had pretty high expectations, but probably exceeding everyone's. They are playing some great soccer. It's going to be a tough year again in the WCC.
And it always is. And again, with the addition of Washington State and Oregon State for the next couple of years, it's going to be pretty great. And then we talked about this last weekend or earlier this weekend, or however you want to put it, against Seattle U. You got next year the conference is going to get bigger, and before it goes back smaller with Seattle U and Grand Canyon. So we give Washington State, Oregon State for this year, next year, and then they will go out back into the Pac-12 with the addition of those new teams, and then Seattle U and Grand Canyon will be in next year.
Yeah, that's a weird situation. One season of a 13-team super conference in the WCC, and then it goes back down to 11, just a slightly different look.
Just continued benefits,
right,
quote unquote, of conference realignment.
Right. At least they all geographically make
absolutely
pretty logical sense.
Yeah.
Can't say the same about every conference.
For both sides, for the Pac-12 or Pac-West or whatever we're going to call it in the WCC. You know, we're not, picking off a random school from the East Coast to be in the WCC.
Can be some brutal travel schedules for some of those student athletes from the quote-unquote bigger schools, bigger conferences, if you will. And the national RPI has been tracked throughout the season, but it was kind of officially released on NCAA.com this past week. And Portland, not where they'd like to be necessarily, sitting at 113. But we're not even at the halfway point this year. So plenty of opportunities to build on that. When you look at Portland's schedule, they've got some great big win opportunities on the slate still. Here's Zurich stepping in. The West Coast Conference had 3 NCAA tournament teams last year: Santa Clara, Gonzaga, and Pepperdine. Could be even a 4-team league this year. Nice ball across by Zurich. And the hustle play by Breer. Threads it down the line to Kozak.
Nice work from Kozak. Terrific defending from Ruby Settle. You just watch her have that concentration the whole way up against Kozak and made sure that when she made that move to step and block, she was right there.
Sophia Hills plays it down to Shea Adams. Road goes up to Kayla Adams. Not able to keep it in play. Just leaked over the sideline and a throw in for George Fox. There goes the speedster Bagby. Playing it forward to McBride. Looking to track it down. Look at the speed of McBride. Turning the corner. Here goes McBride. Not able to finish. Oh, the frustration. She's come within inches.
I show you right at the moment where she just decided to take it with her right foot. She thought she might do it with her left foot, but what a run by McBride. Just turns the corner on Gugliotta right there. And you saw her hesitate right before she passed that, thinking she might, should she hit it with her left? And then she chose her right and just pulls it wide when she does.
She's going to put through a lot of goals in her career. But right now she's in a slump in just the final moment.
I would be willing to bet in the last week of practice, she's probably scored somewhere between 30 and 40 goals.
Right.
Just in practice in the last week, but.
Bagby, it's loose and it's knocked in. And the flag is up.
Flag or a foul? I don't see the flag, but maybe a foul.
Oh, yes, good call. Foul. There was some contact there with the keeper.
Farhad Dadko watching Kayla Adams make that run in there. As we get another look at it, Bagby just a great ball in, lofts it up, and looking for Kayla Adams. Oh, he's calling a handball off of Adams. It went off her arm, but not sure what she does to get her arm out of the way of that one.
That would have been a very Kayla Adams goal to just hit a random body part and somehow go in.
The Kayla-est of goals.
Yes.
Yeah.
In perfect position as she normally is.
As she normally is.
Just didn't get the call to go her way that time. Good ball again by Bagby too on that. She's proven to be pretty precise on those long shot attempts and passes into the box. Playing it out wide, but the speed of Zurich again able to step in front. Those are the type of buildups that are going to work for George Fox in the Northwest Conference. They're not playing a lot of Kaya Zurichs with that speed.
Yeah, and they're just so right on the edge of putting those final pieces together, and Portland just does a nice job in their recovery and their organization just to break up the play where it needs to be broken up.
There goes Bagby. Nice play by Gugliotta. Some high pressure. Adams gets rid of it. Right at the halfway line to Keely Doctor. Trying to go up to McBride, but it's over the in line. 3 subs coming in. Aaliyah Doctor, Haley Still, and Eliana Wong. Couple seniors in Wong and Still. And the sophomore Aaliyah Doctor in. Bagby going out. McBride going out.
And it looks like Kayla Adams is going to come out and Kaiser is going to switch to the right side. Jillian McBride, what a night for her. She's been so good tonight, and I just know that first goal is coming. It may not come tonight. She may not come back in for the rest of the match, but, man, I just have high hopes that, maybe we'll see it this Saturday.
Yes, that would be a great time for it. Matchup with Cal Baptist, who is one of the best teams in the WAC. They were second place last year in that conference. Sitting at 3-3-1 right now, but they've had a tough schedule. That's going to be a tough game Saturday. Another one of those solid teams out of the WAC that if Portland can win, can end up actually helping their RPI, because Cal Baptist, similar to Seattle U, is one of those teams that can build up a lot of wins in conference play.
Absolutely. They are such a strong team, and they've got, just again, it's that interesting non-conference schedule for them, and what, for everybody, how they schedule and what kind of builds up, what coaches will see is going to build their team at the right time, regardless of the result.
With 15 minutes to go here. So a sub coming in for George Fox. It'll be Eliza Camphouse at next opportunity. Haley Still fresh off the bench, battling forward. Playing it out wide to Road. Lofts it back in. Still's on the receiving end. Beautiful. Her second header goal. 6-0 Pilots.
Haley Still right now bookending the Portland scoring. Scores the first goal and has Portland's latest. Terrific ball in from Nina Road, just bypasses everybody, and Haley Still fades off her to Mark's shoulder. You see her right there, she splits right between Willa Evans and Isabella Hector and puts that ball right back where it came from. So difficult to manage when you're a goalkeeper, and it's one of those situations that you train a lot as a goalkeeper of how to deal with those of those types of shots coming back against the grain from where you've been moving, and it's extraordinarily difficult.
Haley Still, 4 goals last year for Washington, 7 already this year. We're not even at the halfway point of the season. What an addition she's been. Settle goes forward to Brooke Miller, and the flag goes up. It's an offside on the Pilots from Ailsa Young, our assistant referee.
Haley Still scored 8 goals in her career. As we just see right there, ooh, so close, but probably about a half a step offside for Brooke Miller.
And Haley Still, big-time scorer out of Kent, Washington, went to Jefferson High School there. School record in career goals there in high school. She's also a great softball and basketball player in high school. Was multi-sport athletes.
Absolutely not surprising.
Yeah, you don't always get the multi-sport athletes.
You don't. I mean, especially with the landscape of club soccer. But learning that about Haley Still does not surprise me.
Here she is. Still left foot. It's over the top.
She moves so well and has such an innate feel for the game with what she's doing, and is able to dictate the pace and the tempo when she wants it. Just a nice little touch away from Liv Heima, and then just racks her left foot through it, and unfortunately just puts it a little bit high. But Liv Heima right now with her hands full with Haley Still.
Well, you just mentioned before that replay, 8 career goals for Still at Washington in 3 years. In this transfer portal era, you wonder if some players end up second-guessing themselves. Oh, should I have transferred? What could have been? Well, she's almost doubled her career goal production by playing here at the University of Portland. So it's obviously been a perfect fit and an awesome move for her.
Well, hopefully an awesome move for her. Hopefully she likes this environment. Hopefully she likes what she's doing. But obviously contributing in a very meaningful way to this Portland team. Very critical in every game that we've seen her in. Her contributions to the attack, but also the defense, right? We saw her in the first part of this game playing center back, and I think, a lot of that is, we talked and joked a little bit about, your starting position and playing anywhere, but I think if you're going to be playing in an advanced position like attacking center mid, like Haley Still plays, or even center forward, you have to be able to defend, and putting your players like that in positions where they have to defend, like center back or holding center mid, gives them that, say, hey, I want you to do this from the front line. What you were doing back here, I want you to do this 40 yards up the pitch and do this to their center backs.
Breer able to step in and knock that one over the side. I mentioned we're not even at the halfway point, so Portland's still trying to round things out, find those perfect combinations that's going to work for them in conference play. Michelle French has used a different starting 11 in almost every match this year. So
I think every match, including tonight.
yes,
I mean,
good call. Every match this year for the Pilots is a different starting 11, so they haven't quite figured out how they want to approach it yet. Miller just over the end line. Goal kick for George Fox.
Miller just couldn't quite catch up to that effort over the end line. A nice ball in, well worked through the wide part of the field with Rode, but just trickles over the end line.
Cleared away by Evans into the bleachers here at Merlot Field. Zurich will throw it in. This is Tavy Kahn. All the way up to Adams. Going right side for the sprinting Ruby Settle, but Alexis Breer is there once again.
And that's a good decision for Ruby Settle not to challenge and put herself in a situation of fouling for that ball and instead taking the throw. And it was going to be very difficult to turn and clear there. But well worked and won by George Fox initially.
Zurich, nice fake. She'll go back to Kahn. 22-1 is the shot count in favor of Portland. Look at Zurich. Puts it into Settle. Actually, that's Brooke Miller. Doctor fires it in, deflected, and a corner for the Pilots.
Yeah, Settle opts again. A good savvy decision. Settle's had two good, very savvy soccer decisions in the last couple of minutes. One, letting that ball go for a foul, and here taking the corner instead of trying to save it.
Settle back on side, lofts it in. It's a good one. Header over the top, though.
Nina Rode just can't quite get up over enough of that ball to get it down. But Settle hits a terrific ball up and over, and Rode in clear open space just comes up underneath it a little bit. Needs to just started to run a bit too early, which is hard when the ball's in the air that high, that much. And just can't quite get down and get it in goal.
Bella Brown, new keeper in there for George Fox, making her debut. A freshman from Star, Idaho, will step into the net, play the final 8 minutes here at Merlot Field. Emily Roby, a valiant effort today as she exit with 6 saves. Been peppered and challenged with shots all game by the Pilots. Roby, a big part of the 3 shutouts to the first 3 matches for George Fox coming into this one.
Yeah, the other goalkeeper on the roster, Bella Salazar, played for just under 10 minutes in one of their earlier matches, but Roby getting the lion's share of those minutes, earning those shutouts for George Fox.
And she came in with one of their big 3-0 lead. That was actually over Bushnell on Wednesday. So all 3 keepers now getting some run in the net this year for George Fox and Laura Schott. Carrington, a dangerous pass across, and Zurich steps up. Now on the right side, Brooke Miller. In the 18, working left, launches, and it squeaks through for a goal. Brooke Miller with a hat trick.
Brooke Miller has had the natural brace and then the unnatural hat trick. Well worked from her. What a ball in. Just a nice little touch. There's a good little slip move to get around Alexis Breer and then hammers it. Just right here. Nice little cut. Just gets Breer going the other, just back a little bit. Just gives her enough space to fire that shot. And that's a tough test. It's a tough one to deal with if you're a goalkeeper.
Brooke Miller, the junior, 2 goals her previous 2 seasons. And now she has 4 here this year. The breakout season Michelle French was hoping for is starting to take shape for Brooke Miller.
And they will need this from her down the stretch. That ability to just find that space to get up against a player, just do a little nice little touch around. And again, as you saw that, Breer had to take a step back, and that gave Miller all of the window and space that she needed to hit that shot.
Portland has only allowed 5 goals this year. They have 4 shutouts. The Pilots lead the WCC in goals allowed and in shutouts. And for this match, they're going to enhance their lead in goals scored as well. They've now scored 23 goals this year, which leads the conference. So, you know, they don't have all the results they want, but Portland's put up some crazy numbers. Here's a left-footed shot from Carrington, and Hills gets some action as she corrals it.
George Fox works it down the pitch and gets a good opportunity and a good look, and that's a tough, again, first minutes, first half as a Portland goalkeeper. Again, it's a little wet now as we get later in the evening and the dew starts to cover the field, so always a tough shot to deal with. And Sophia Hills does nicely.
What a ball by Shea Adams. All the way up to Brooke Miller. He's got Adams towards the middle. Will Miller go there? Yes, but the hustle play to clear that over the end line.
I think it's just going to be a throw-in. That's going to squeak out for a throw-in.
Well done by Kaylee Gugliotta.
Yeah.
Junior out of Central Point, Oregon. Led the team in minutes, Gugliotta did last year. You can see why. Laura Schott likes to keep her on the field. In a match that's out of reach, she's playing her tail off to the very end. Both teams are.
And again, George Fox, really nice job right there. Good step there from number 17, Liv Heima. And just very disciplined in their shape and what they're doing in their game plan. Just trying to maintain what the game plan is.
Yeah. Great experience for George Fox, and talk about game film and analytics and challenging herself against Division I level athletes with Portland, and George Fox is doing that today.
Wong, it's a good idea from Wong. It's a good sharp entry pass in, and when things start to get compact through the middle, Portland did a nice job. I think that was Miller who had drug her player wide and left Adams open in the middle, and that pass from Wong, again, a good idea, but just a bit too far.
Adams trying to go back to the sprinting Doctor. Miller going out to Zurich, and here she goes. What a move. Zurich into the 18. Miller trying to get free, well defended. It's a whistle and a foul against Portland.
Yeah, a bit too much there from Brooke Miller, trying to find her way out of a tight jam. I think she just puts her hand up there. She knows she probably could have done a bit better in terms of just cleaning up her touch, but I saw what she was trying to do. She just needed about a yard more space to do it.
Quick ball forward by Weber. She was hoping Coral Sheffer was going to be on a run, but nobody there. It goes to Hills. Adams goes back to Hills, and the pressure from Weber causing some issues there. A sub coming in for George Fox. As Carly Garberding coming in. Hat trick for Brooke Miller today.
Brooke Miller with a great first goal, just a nice touch by the keeper. Passes it in the left-footed there. hits a right-footed rocket coming back in here inside the penalty area, and then we'll get her back on her left foot with another just little bounce dip in is so, again, can't tell you how difficult that is to defend as a goalkeeper, not knowing how high it's going to bounce when it comes off the ground.
Miller, 3 of the Pilots' 7 goals. Choice for player of the game today. Had a few choices. You also have Haley Still, who has a brace. And Ruby Settle and Taylor Norman both with goals. But got to give it to somebody with a hat trick like Brooke Miller, who's been within a few feet, maybe even a few inches throughout her career of multiple goals. And is still now at 6 career goals in her career. Not even halfway through her junior season.
You can remember some absolute rattlers off the crossbar from Miller, her freshman and sophomore year.
Against Arizona State, she took a shot from maybe 30 yards out, banged off the crossbar, and that was when Ruby Settle came through and headed it in.
Yeah.
A couple of freshmen at that time.
Yeah.
Dramatic moment for them too. It's a huge win for Michelle French and the coaching staff to win an NCAA tournament match a couple years ago. Then they lost to Alabama, who was one of the best teams in the country. But
and again, that was such a very, very, very close game.
Yeah. Heck of a run that year. Here's Zurich. Miller sends it in. Beautiful. And Brown is there. It was a heading attempt by Kayla Adams.
Yeah, Adams comes through there just a bit too far to the near post and can't quite get, is being very well marked and just can't quite get the turn on it to get it back towards net. But Bella Brown was there, had it covered.
9, 8, 7.
Closing seconds tick off the clock in what was a dominant victory for Portland. 7-0 the final. Michelle French and the Pilots get win number 5. 5-2-2 is the record for UP. Now just one non-conference match remaining next Saturday against Cal Baptist, but today a lot to like for Portland.
A lot to like and a lot to take into this weekend's game. It's a lot of great momentum. It's what Portland needed after last Thursday's game against Seattle U, and had a lot of things go right and a lot of things to watch from